And welcome to Unleashed. Yes, bottom right corner is not Malcolm Nance. It is JoJo from Jerz. Malcolm, unfortunately, is in Cairo. And so we needed a third. And of course, I brought in my pal, JoJo. Lev, welcome. Everyone, welcome to Unleashed, where we are exactly what we are. So yes, again, everybody, JoJo from Jerz.
Hi. There's something about being unleashed and
The audience is going crazy.
oh my God, I was like, is that a
JoJo
blender?
from Jerz. Yeah. They just don't want to stop. They love her.
Oh my God. I joke that I'm unleashed, but I'm the meat in sandwich, the Cohen Varnas sandwich now. I mean, you do this with with Malcolm, so I'm gonna try my best to say something intelligent like Malcolm would. I can't promise.
Yeah, I'm sure. So look, I don't even know where to start. So I think maybe the right way to start is Lev and I are constantly, and myself as well with you, JoJo. We talk about the No Kings tour, the No Kings rally that's supposedly taking place on the 18th all over the country. Now, of course, the president, the administration, they're already shitting all over it, saying it's not, I don't hear good things. I don't hear it's going to be wildly attended. But yet, in California, they decided that they're going to shut down the I-5, which is like here in the East Coast shutting down I-95 or 495 for
Michael,
a naval display for the 250th anniversary. You wanted to say something?
there's a little breaking news on that.
Yeah.
Midas Touch just broke this that they've agreed not to do that, right? So Gavin Newsom's already responded. So now the Marines say that they are not, in fact, right, Lev? Did you hear that? They are not, in fact, closing the I-5. I think a lot of public pressure actually worked, friends. I honestly and truly believe that because Midas and others put that out there yesterday, and people were fucking beside themselves because they should have been and should be. Sorry, just wanted to put
and there's more breaking news actually right now. Trump is about to speak actually, but I broke this earlier today in the morning, and Trump's coming out with it right now. So he's supposed to meet with Zelensky tomorrow, but Donald Trump was on the phone today with Vladimir Putin, and he just got off the phone with them, and they're breaking it now, and they're going to do another summit in Budapest. So now Trump is planning a meeting with Putin in Budapest. And he said, President Trump thanked the First Lady Melania for her involvement with the children. He's very appreciative and said that he will continue. We agreed a meeting of high-level advisors next week. So basically, there's no tomahawks going anywhere, folks. There's not. So tomorrow's meeting with Zelensky is going to be an interesting one, and it's just everything we've been talking about. But go ahead, Michael. I didn't want to. I know we got a lot.
Listen, it's
There's a lot.
news.
There's a lot to go into. I don't even know where you want to go first.
So
much happening.
Listen, it's fine. The bottom line is, I believe they are still doing the military parade that they were intending for the 250th anniversary of the Navy. When I heard that they were going to start shooting off rockets and missiles, as I was talking about to a friend of mine, this girl, Lauren, who's from California, it was, to me, so reminiscent of when I was a kid. I used to build these model rockets. You know, when you're a little kid, you know, the folks used to get you these model rockets made by a company called Estes. I don't even know if they're even still in business. ESTES. And I would save up money. I would get it for birthdays. These big, giant 3-foot tall rockets. And you put a metal stick in the ground, and the stick attached to the hole of the rocket, and then you put M80s in, and the M80s would thrust it into the air. I can't believe this was a fucking toy that you used to give to 8-9-year-olds, right? I mean, today, you know, you got to put the kid into like a bomb suit or something like that you know, that they use to disarm IEDs. So all those, they are still around. Oh, cool. Thanks, Alan. I mean, so what made me think about my model rocket building, which was so stupid because you basically used it once, the stupid shit caught on fire, and that was the end of your $25, $28. And in those days, it was a lot of money for a fucking toy. Suffice it to don't forget, I mean, I'm not a young kid. That's like 45 years ago, 50 years ago. So here's the funny thing. What you do is you took the long metal pole and you banged it into the ground, into your grass. Then you lit the fuse and it would start to smolder. And the next thing you know, off of the metal plate, it would thrust it up into the air. Well, I don't know why it would happen, but every time, because of the force and the fact that the M80s never ignited at the same time, my rocket would always tilt. And where did it tilt to? Right to my next door neighbor's fucking window. I mean, my poor parents must have bought them 3 different windows until ultimately that was the end of my rocket. That was the end of my NASA tour. Imagine they're shooting off these rockets off of battleships. It's not impossible to predict that one of them can go awry and end up in maybe my next door neighbor's window again. I mean, I'm saying to myself, who does something like
you're
this?
Shooting at American soil.
That
Just the
part.
fact that you're even aiming, it's something about that just does not sit well. Forget about I mean, just the fact that you got military shooting, even parade, or like I could say we're shooting out, into the, but shooting towards the base,
Towards land?
towards land,
towards American. You're right. It's not like you can't shoot it into the ocean, but then the problem is nobody would see it. They literally want you to see a rocket flying overhead.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
But Michael, everything with Trump, it's like a little kid in a sandbox, right? Like he views the military in particular as toys, as props, as ways for him to show off, to flex, like in ways that he never could organically because he didn't sign up to serve, because he never put anything beyond himself and his own priorities. So he views them as props. But by the way, are they even getting paid? Like he's going to use our military to fire missiles toward our soil while we're in a shutdown, and I'm not even sure if those members of the military are getting paid. But the whole thing is designed for him to flex, to show the kind of power he has, and to scare people into not protesting, because this protest is so under his skin. He's talking about it nonstop. He's saying no one's going to show up. He has all his minions out there messaging that it's a Hate America rally, that it's Antifa, which we all know is bullshit. There's no Antifa organization. You're Antifa, meaning you're anti-fascist. And by the way, the people who sailed across oceans to fight for freedom were Antifa. But all of this is so that people will be like, oh my God, I don't want to go. I'm afraid. I'm scared. What are they going to do? They're going to shoot missiles at us. They're going to arrest us. They're going to send ICE in there. They want us afraid because this is a threat. Because when we show up in these huge numbers, it's a ding to his ego, but it shows him that he does not have all of us obeying in advance and complying in advance, and that we are going to get out there and speak up and stand up and speak out against him. He hates it. So that's why more of us need to do it. I'm trying to get my kids to go. Everybody needs to go.
Oh, I agree with you, Jojo, 100%. I mean, that's his Achilles, and no pun intended, by the way, his cankles, but his cankles, that's his biggest thing. It's not the media. He doesn't care about what anybody says. He cares about the people. He fears, while, Michael talks about all the time. Can you imagine millions of people marching on Washington, D.C.? He would have a heart attack. He would not know how to respond. He would not know what to do. And that is part of every time we speak, and that's part of why we keep saying we need to build a platform, we need to do something, because it's, in numbers, our voices grow stronger. And the stronger our voices are, the louder our voices are, the bigger our numbers are, the more attention we're going to get, because Hakeem Jeffries is not getting his attention. Schumer is not getting his attention. And there's nobody, Newsom is getting his attention. Pritzker is not getting. These are people that, to him, these are like flies on the wall. These are like mosquitoes now that he goes like, shoo fly. They're irrelevant, and the more they keep trying him to play this game, the more they're playing into his game, into his hand, and what he's doing. And he's just proceeding. I mean, just think about what we saw unwind yesterday in that Olympic, the anger out of his face. Did you see, Michael, how he said, they said they're going to put away my son? They said they're going to put me away. We're too easy on them. And he ended it off with that. I mean,
He did.
see it. I didn't see that anger, and you know, I mean, maybe you could talk a little bit better about that. But that's not like, you know, it's up to Pam Bondi and Cash Patel. No, folks, it is like you better get. And now I'm hearing that you know, Michael called it today, where we're going to see Bolton,
John Bolton, 100%
indicted. But I'm also hearing now, Michael, you're going to like this one. Andrew Weissman is on the list of joining the group, and others that are Jojo, exactly. I mean, people that you thought have already he's basically, they're trying to rewrite the whole Russiagate.
So you know what? I'm glad. Let's use that, Lev, as the segue into sort of like the part 2 of the chaos tour, right? Let me be very clear on Donald Trump's belief system. And every single one of us have to look at ourselves for a very brief moment and be honest with ourselves. There, in my opinion, there is not a human being alive or deceased that if the government doesn't start ripping through your entire life, will figure out something within which to charge you with.
100%.
Okay. Even if it's something small, could be something small, doesn't make a difference. They could blow it up, and while they're blowing it up, they're costing you every dollar that you have in the bank. They're hitting you with something that's now, believe it or not, I believe unconstitutional, called forfeiture, which is where they end up locking up all your accounts and everything, claiming that 20 times the amount of whatever the number is.
Just take away all your shit.
They basically put your entire life upside down, inside out, and backwards. And most people, on top of that, with the legal fees, because once you are in trouble and you go to these lawyers, these same fucking assholes that used to be the prosecutors, all they care about is figuring out how much money they're going to be able to take from you. That's their big goal.
And you know, they added, I'm sorry, Michael, they added a new bullet, a new force to their to this whole attack on us. Because what's the easiest way to get anybody in the United States? And Michael is the perfect example of, is called the IRS.
Yep.
Because it's the way the system is set up. It's on a anybody could look at it one way and say, is that deduction that way? So
the
with
IRS,
that said, the IRS is a very powerful, extremely powerful force. And what did Donald Trump and Vought and Project 2025 do? They gutted the IRS and have now put into the enforcement loyalists to go after, because that's the easiest crime to go after any American.
Yeah.
You know.
So just imagine. Most people aren't aware on how long the IRS has been even in existence under the laws and under the guidelines. The IRS textbook is something like 180,000 pages long. I want people to understand that. So when you go to your CPA, right, this person has to start looking through and to make sure that something that 2 years ago was a permitted deduction is no longer a permitted deduction now. And what they all contradict and conflict with one another. It is truly, truly difficult in order to do, if you have anything more than just a W-2. Now, let me be very clear. And I want to expand on what Lev just said. They intend to use the power of the IRS. So when I was saying before, every single person has something they can go after. And even if they end up not indicting or putting you away, the cost is so astronomical that it will change your life.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows this, And that's why I have been consistent in when I say, whether it's Tish James, whether it's James Comey, whether it's John Bolton, soon to be, let's say, Adam Schiff, and then Andrew Weissman, each and every one of them have done something in their lives that government, when they shred your life to pieces, will find something to target you on.
Yeah.
Now, here's where the problem comes in. And Jojo, I'd love to get your take on it. Here's the thing. These are the same people, like Tish James, who went ahead and said no one is above the law. She campaigned for her position as Attorney General for the city of New York. She campaigned on holding Trump accountable and bringing him to his knees.
Mm-hmm.
Well, while I turn around and I say two wrongs don't make a right, they do actually make a left. And he is now going after her on the same theory. And I truly believe that every single person that they end up bringing these indictments will ultimately suffer a major, major loss, one way or the other.
Well, you mean financially or something like that? Because
In every way.
I will say that you're not wrong. And by the way, no one is above the law. And Tish James was right to say that. And if Tish James, we're talking about, they're accusing her of what, mortgage fraud?
Mortgage fraud.
Because she got like a $5,000 tax break or something insignificant. I don't even know what it was. Some very insignificant amount. It really, what it was something about her niece and a property. I'm not even sure. And she even put in writing that was not her residence. Either way, what I will say is if someone did commit a crime and that crime is punishable by some sort of consequence or some sort of whatever it is, this is the law. The law is the law. I don't want him to be using the Department of Justice to go after his enemies in the way that they accused Biden of doing and never did. But what gives me some hope, I guess you could say, is that everyone they went to with any shred of decency, merit, and guardrails and the law said, no, I'm not going to do this. There's no there. You're telling me to prosecute a case that really doesn't meet the standard for these kinds of charges. And so they've all resigned or been forced out. I mean, now they have the Eastern District of Virginia and the Western District of Virginia for two different cases where there was no there. So then they get these loyalists, like whatever her name is. My God, she looks like a law Barbie. I forget her. Halligan, whatever her name is.
Lindsay Halligan.
That one, right. So Halligan she doesn't care. She'll do anything. I mean, she's constantly going to the Oval Office and meeting with Donald Trump. The like improprieties here are off the charts. But I will say that the fact that these career people, they will not take these cases tells me that despite the indictment, which I know you know better than I do, it's not that difficult to indict somebody, right? If you give them enough room.
Correct.
I don't believe in it, particularly in Comey's case, because that whole shit was so mishandled and Trump put it out in a post. So it's obviously, I mean, on its face, not exactly a case that you can pursue. But I think they're going to bump up against the actual limitations of the law. I don't think you don't think so?
No, I also don't think so because I agree.
No.
I agree with Michael a little bit on this. I mean, you're 100% right. Thinking if you lived in the America,
if you lived 6 years ago,
6 years ago, 5 years ago, yeah, you're 100% right.
We would all be acknowledging what you're
yeah.
saying.
Right now, we're living in a different time. Right now, we're living in a time that you have to understand that, and just like you said, like if they break the law, they're using technicalities. Like I'll give you an example, what Michael meant by every day, each one of us probably breaks the laws. You don't even know it. When you go fill out an application for your credit card or to go get a car or to go something simple like that, a Macy's card, and they say, how much did you make this year? And you just put, 80,000, but you might have made 50,000 or 60,000 or 75. Technically, that is bank fraud. That is, you're already committing a crime, which is punishable by 5 years in prison. And that is the same thing, just like lying to the FBI. Technically, 99% of these laws that we talk about, that's why prosecutor, and you're right, Jojo, normal prosecutors out there that are looking at saying, we do not, because then we would have to go prosecute every American, every citizen for every techno, because we have all kinds of laws on the books from even far away that are meant to do it. And that is why sometimes we look at rogue prosecutions. That's why we have the barriers.
Right.
That's why, we have the judges and the juries, because so a prosecutor can go rogue, because the way the system is set up, anybody, any one of us sitting right now, if there's a prosecutor in our county that wants to go after you and to look deep inside of you,
Yep.
I mean, I'll give you, there are laws for jaywalking in parts of this country where you could get picked up and get a misdemeanor, and then it could go out of the way. So yes, we live in a world, and that is what they're doing. That is the difference between what they are going deep into, and they're saying, like, find me a law from 1732. I don't give a shit. That's the law. We're gonna show, and then they're gonna put the Democrats say, wait a second, you're against the law. Like, this is the law. So this is what I say. There's common sense. There's law. They are right now convoluting the two, using the power. Which again, what pisses me off is the Democratic leadership knew that this could happen, and they still allowed it to happen.
We, the American people, knew this was going to happen. How many times did you hear me on television screaming at the television set? Not screaming because because I had nothing else to do. Screaming because I knew where this was going to go. I warned everybody where this was going.
Yeah.
But what did they turn around and do? They said, well,
But most people don't believe, just like right now. Most people talk about it and say, like, he's not going to shoot missiles into America and whatsoever. He's not going to have a parade and have the tank. He's not going to go and to get a Qatari. I mean, most people still keep saying he's not going. That's not going to happen. So yeah. So when you were screaming at the top of your lung, when I was screaming, when JoJo was screaming, when we were all screaming, most of the country said, yeah, that guy Cohen, he has an axe to grind. Lev, yeah, he went to prison for him. JoJo, she just doesn't like Trump because he's against. They made excuses for what we were saying. They don't look, and they don't look, and that is why still till this day. That's why I keep saying our message is so important, and we are being shut down not by the Republic. Just think about it. We, the three of us sitting here, are not being shut down by the Republicans. We're being shut down by the Democrats, by the Democratic leadership. Our voices should be promoted. There should be videos and promotion campaigns going on 24/7, from social media, from JoJo clips to Michael Cohen clips to Lepa to Malcolm to Miles Taylor to all these clips. When we talk about, when we're on Substack, when we're making these, when we break the news, when we sit here and make something controversial. But it's here. It's in this echo chamber of a small community, which is, yes, we're trying to grow. But that's the difference. When they do it, it's all over. Like, Trump's going to come out, or somebody say it's going to be on every social media. They're going to have videos. They have the money back. We have no. Yeah, go ahead, Jojo.
No, Lev, to your point, like, this is madness for me, because the government is shut down right now in part because they will not swear in the 218th vote on the discharge position to release the Epstein files. That in and of itself is a massive scandal. The fact that Ghislaine was moved from that prison to a Club Fed via private jet is a massive scandal. Now we know that she had a special visitor. They locked down the whole campus so she could meet with whoever her special visitor is. If I'm running the Democratic Party messaging right now, I am blaring this shit on a horn 24/7, because they would do it. They made a real scandal out of a fake scandal in a freaking pizza place basement. None of it was true. Now
we even have something better. We have Marjorie fucking Taylor Greene's own words, and not just about the Epstein files.
Right.
About talking about that the Republicans shut the government down.
Right.
That the Republicans are responsible for our medical insurance going up. How are we not using Marjorie Taylor Greene's and blasting a video? I should be turning on the TV right now, and everywhere I go, there should be a commercial.
Or better than the television.
Yeah.
Better than the television.
Social media.
Let's put together a 30 or a 60-second clip. Straight to the point. Hi, I'm Michael Cohen, former personal attorney to the President of the United States in the first term. When you have Marjorie, I've been a Democrat my entire life. When you have Marjorie Taylor Greene acknowledging that Republicans are The reason our government is shut down, that Republicans shut down, is the basis for why your insurance is going to go up 109% in a matter of 60 days. You must acknowledge whose fault it is.
Yeah.
Next, you put out Tom Massey. Now you go Tom Massey.
Tom Massey, right.
Tom
Do one
Massey
better.
saying how Donald Trump is covering up for his contributors, for his supporters in the Epstein file. Then you get Don Bacon coming up. It is illegal to be able to. I mean, you got Republic. Use their word. You don't even do that.
That's what I'm saying.
This is stupidity.
What you do, if you really want to get them, is you, because they hate us. You know they fucking hate us. I know they hate me. I'll say, I'm JoJo from Jersey. I know you hate me. And I know you don't believe anything that I say. And I know that nothing I say is going to pierce that bubble. But guess what? You don't have to listen to me. Listen to your own. And then you play clip after clip after clip of their own, telling the truth about what their party is doing. And that's all you have to do. But that's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. I'm not sure what we're doing. But it's not that.
And the other simple part, don't go spend all this money on advertising this on CNN and MSNBC.
What a waste.
And then go put this on Newsmax. Go spend the money on Fox. Force it. So this way, every time if they're watching Fox, all of a sudden, boom, Marjorie Taylor Greene and JoJo together were saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Next, Michael Cohen, Love Partners, all over Fox. That's how you get these. And guys, we're not even charging them millions of dollars for this strategical democratic a little powwow we're getting. Think about who they have. They go out there, they spend millions of dollars.
No. They spend our millions, Lev.
Yeah.
Every fucking day, I get another email, another text message. $7. Be a part of the fight. Send us $7. Go ahead, Lev.
And then they go higher. Okay, you Yale, Harvard. Okay, you served 30 years ago under Clinton. Oh, you know what you're. Oh, but okay, and they get these people in there that have no fucking clue of what's going on. Never met anybody in this administration. Never dealt with anybody in this administration. Have no clue of and they're basing their conversation and their think tanks off of something from 30 years ago. It's like, I'm a football fan, right? So perfect example.
You're a Jets fan. That's not the same.
Easy there, JoJo. But I'll give it to you for today. But just think, it's like a great example. You have some of these coaches on the football field that today still want to have a defensive game, run the ball all day long, get this quarterback, stay in the pocket. That happened in the 1960s. And that's why, and then when the game changed, now you have all these high-flying offenses. You got quarterbacks that are running for thousands of yards. It's a totally different game. It's not like you have to change with it, or you're not going to win.
Yeah. We talk. Lev and I talk about this all the time. So, sure, you have, for example, the No Kings rally. We all know that it's getting under the administration's skin. They knock it. They call it the I Hate America rally. It's now sponsored by Antifa. Antifa, according to our Attorney General, the highest ranking law enforcement agent in the country, is telling you that we are going to stop Antifa. We are going to locate them and we are going to go after them. The word them. You get schmuck and a half Cancun Ted Cruz, right? Literally sitting there on television, specifically Fox News and even CNN, parroting the same bullshit lie. Antifa is a organization that is and has been designated by Trump as a terrorist organization, and that we are going to find them and bring them to justice. Now, my friends, I think it's extremely important that we call this out for what it is. Antifa is not an organization. Antifa is an ideology, short for anti-fascism, which I think we all believe in, right? Anti-fascism, or Antifa, does not have a headquarters, There is no office. There is no bank account. There is no structural hierarchy, a president, a vice president, a treasurer, a secretary. There are no members. If you believe that America's democratic republic should continue for another 250 years, another 1,000 years, well, then you too are part of Antifa. You don't believe in a king, a monarch, a supreme leader, a ruler, an emperor. You don't believe in that. So here's the problem. And it's why Trump was saying, I don't think a lot of people are going to go. What they're trying to do is to scare the shit out of you not to go.
Exactly.
And how do you do that? Well, if you go to the rally, that clearly means that you are part of Antifa. If you are part of Antifa, you are now considered a homegrown terrorist affiliated to a terrorist organization, meaning they have the ability to detain you. That's the danger that they're trying to put into people's heads.
Mm-hmm.
And it's no joke. It's working. I mean, like my lawyers have been calling me and telling me you're stupid if you even step outside your house that day because you're a prime target to just get an unsupervised release. Plus, between me and you, I'll tell you honestly, they're scared. The leaders of all these organizations, 5051, Indivisible, they're getting sued all over the place. I've been speaking to some of the what's it called, and they're scared. That's why they're not calling you. They're not calling me. They're not. It's like a weird type of a scenario. It's like, yeah, we want to go out there march, but we don't want to cause enough attention where they're gonna actually send in ICE or send in, the troops to be able to scare people or attack them or that. So we want to it's like one of the places told me originally that they were, in Broward, they were doing this big thing. They wanted to do guest speakers, and now they're saying, we're not having speakers anywhere. I'm like, what are you doing? This is the shit I'm hearing, guys. It's crazy.
No, you're not wrong. I'm doing a virtual event with Indivisible tonight, and our mutual friend Tara Setmayer is joining, and some other creators are. I believe Aaron's coming. Maybe no, he's not to this one. But I know you're right, and I know they're under a lot of pressure. And what we've seen is that when people stand up, institutions, organizations, companies, colleges, when they stand up to this sort of intimidation tactic, and they punch the bully back in the nose, the bully backs up. Right? We've seen this time after time after time. Look at ABC, right? This, what they want, you are 100% right. You're both right. And this is 1,000% what they are trying to do. Antifa is nebulous enough where they think they can scoop up enough people in this dragnet of bullshit that it'll dissuade other people from standing up, speaking out, organizing, marching, etc. But I will just say this. Here's what I ultimately believe is true. They want that, because they know that when we do show up with our kids, with our grandparents, with our pets, with our colorful flags and our body paint, just like we saw with the naked protests in Portland, that the optics of mass ICE goons coming in and tackling kids and tackling like naked grannies and tackling, dogs to the ground, those optics are very, very bad for them. Because I don't care what party you are. I don't care if you thought you voted for this and you realize you didn't. They don't want those visuals. And everybody's recording every second of every day. And they know that will look extremely bad for them. And all that will do is fuel more outrage against what they're doing and get more attention highlighted on what they're doing. And I honestly believe that the calculus here is don't let them dissuade you. Don't let them scare you, because when more of us show up, it is less likely that they'll be able to actually exact the kinds of retribution that they would like to. That's why he can't stop talking about it.
No,
he knows.
I agree with you, and I'm the first one to say we need to show up, and we need to. I'm not. Don't misunderstand me.
I'm not. I get it.
No, not you. I'm saying everybody out there want to make sure they understand. We're just warning you of what their agenda, and we absolutely have to be. But also, I want to make it very clear that they don't care about the optics anymore. That is the problem, because what you just said right now, if you think about it, we're seeing that play out. every single day all over our country. We're seeing young little girls. We get autistic boys being taken away by
Yes.
ICE. We're seeing young kids being separated from their mothers and fathers every day at 26 Plaza, Federal Plaza, New York. I watch these videos. There's like 3 or 4 of them a day. We're seeing ICE in Portland are going out there. There's not even a protest happening. You got 10, 20 people, but you got it called a terror zone. And now you're seeing Chicago play out to such a degree. And you're watching Los Angeles, where they're talking about they call it a state of emergency because people shops, people get. Yes, that's all happening, and I agree with you. It all is bad news, but the problem
And
is that
yeah,
messaging is being like it's in an echo chamber. The one thing I keep trying to explain to everybody out there is we all agree on all these people that are going to go protest. You're going to have 10, 20, 30 million protesting out there. That's great. But like Michael always says, where's the 70 million that didn't vote? Where's the people that voted for Trump? Their messaging is the same thing, that it's anti. When you see the fighting going back and forth, when you going on, they want that. They're trying to
Yeah,
attack
yeah.
it. So
they
yes, we need to
they
be doing
are they are so lock and step into each other, meaning the Republicans, the GOP,
yeah.
that you even have the younger groups. You know, they always say monkey see, monkey do, right? You take the young GOP group, and I'm talking about those vile text messages that got leaked, the Telegram, for 7 months, over 100 people on a group chat saying racist, sexist, misogynistic, xenophobic, homophobic, transphobic, Islamophobic, anti-Semitic rants, all to applause, all to some of the most vile things, using the N-word like you would use a period in punctuation. I've
JD
never
Vance
in
says
my
it was a
life.
joke. JD Vance says it's a joke.
And
Yeah.
JD Vance says, it's, young boys say stupid things. 18 to 40 years of age, these
Yeah, they're not
folks were.
boys.
But the point I wanted to make is how lock and step these fuckers are. So Adam Mockler did a great freaking job on News Nation. Chris Cuomo was moderating, which in and of itself is just silly because Chris is always trying to play every side of the angle. He's a friend of mine. I like him. He's very smart, but take a side, pick a side here. So he starts asking the question about these things, and Adam Mockler turns around and says to the guy sitting next to him, "Can you at least denounce
Charlie
the
Kirk's producer.
the Adolf Hitler comment and the comment about the gas chambers?" And the guy couldn't do it.
Mm-mm.
And Mockler just jumped right in on it. Young kid, smart as hell, but quick on his feet. That's what you need. You don't need another King Jeffrey speech for 24 hours. You don't need Chuck Schumer's fake rage standing by the podium with his hand in his pocket playing pocket pool. You don't need this shit.
That's a
All
gross
right?
image.
I'm sorry.
It's
You
okay.
need,
Like,
sorry,
of
JoJo.
all the people, I'm sorry. Just a picture of
Right?
your grandma getting out of the bathtub for a minute. Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
Well, so now what do you need? You need somebody who's quick, like a Mockler, all right? Like Lev's son, right? Who fortunately got his brains from the mama, Aaron Parnas, where they're quick. And you turn around and you're able to jump right in on them. Whoa, 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 whoa. Are you going to tell me that you can't even denounce a what do you call it? A gas chambers?
Nazi.
Gas
Okay,
chambers, Nazi gas
Michael-
chambers, that you can't even denounce that? And he says to the other two that was sitting next to him, "Can you denounce?" They're like, "Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
all will denounce that." But this motherfucker couldn't do that. Why? I'm going to tell you the answer to all of you with us. And by the way, Lev, how many folks we have with us now?
I think a little over 1,500, 1,600. I think.
So, do me a favor, everybody. Keep hitting those hearts and that square with the up arrow. Let's get even more people on. But here's the thing. The reason that they refuse to denounce even gas chambers and Nazi-type tactics, they're afraid if they say the same thing, they're going to be excommunicated from the Church of Hate.
Well,
And
yeah.
they fear that more than even looking and being a racist on television.
You guys were saying, that they don't care about the optics of things, and while I don't agree 100%, because I do believe when you're talking about white women and white girls with blonde hair, I'd say that as a white woman, well, with fake blonde hair, but nonetheless, I do think that some people can say, oh, that's those people, that's not affecting me, but this one looks just like me, and that those optics are a little bit different. But to that point, where you are right, is that what JD Vance is doing, what that Charlie Kirk producer was doing last night, is normalizing that language, normalizing that speech. And by the way, that speech has already been normalized and embraced to the point where those people on that chat were speaking their hearts. You don't have a casual chat with your friends where you drop words like that, phrases like that. You don't just off record tell your friend you want gas chambers to come back unless it reflects what's actually rotten in your soul, right? And the reason that rot exists in their soul, the fish rots from the head down, right, is because this rotten fish has been telling them that this is normal language. These are normal things to think, because in large measure it aligns with things that they want for this country, to theoretically erase the entire 20th century's worth of progress. But to that end, too, if they say I denounce that speech, or if they say that speech is wrong, then that speech is no longer normalized. So when JD Vance, the Vice President of the United States, says, "Oh, I'm just going to chalk that up to kids being kids," he's telling those people and anybody else who wants to think those thoughts, because those thoughts are being plugged into their brains all day long, that they're okay and that they can go out there and act on them. Meanwhile, they're gaslighting the Democrats and the rest of the country into telling everybody that it's us, that we are the ones trafficking and inciting violence with our rhetoric. They're doing the very thing. Every accusation is a confession every single solitary time. And Charlie Kirk, in his death, they have managed to whitewash, revise, sanewash everything about him to the point where he is a saint. He is a saint, not the kind of person who trafficked in bigotry and xenophobia and sexism and racism and just freaking hate. They've whitewashed it all. And that is how you normalize speech. And that is what they're trying to do. And JD Vance is out there as the cheerleader for that very thing.
Yeah, he just basically made the statement that, like Trump did, it's locker room talk.
No, but
Yeah.
the best part, like Chris Cuomo is such a great reporter. How does he not follow up and say, "Wait a second, but didn't you also use some of that locker room talk? Didn't you call Trump a Nazi American Hitler?" And
America's Hitler.
America's like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Like, they have so much shit, like, to put them to their feet. One joke is, what's funny about it? So
No.
do you think the Holocaust was funny? Like, these are these are easy follow-ups. I mean, to the president, to the vice president. Forget about the Charlie Kirk's guy. Forget about Adam Manfred. But the vice president is telling you, hey, we just use N words and F bombs and Holocaust and Jew, all of this misogyny, all of you, and it was a joke.
Right.
Hey, Vice President Vance, tell us what was funny about it.
Yeah.
What did you see? What did you see that was? I mean, this is so easy. Like, I mean, you don't have to be a journalist. Like, I don't know.
Did you see it? Because what Cuomo did was worse than that. Not only didn't he follow up or push back, that was a different thing with Vance was on TV or somewhere else. But what he cut Mockler off. He actually tried to redirect him and said, "Oh, we're not doing that," and he both sides did. He actually said, "This is how we got here, because everybody's pointing fingers at everybody else." And it's like, he's not dealing. You can't both sides whether or not the earth is round or flat. You can't say that's what Chris Cuomo did. He basically said, "Oh, we're not pointing fingers at each other. Let's call."
No, yes, we should be pointing fingers. And the fingers we should be pointing is supposed to be the two middle fingers. Fuck you, and fuck you as well, right? Understand, as the son of a Holocaust survivor, my father, God bless him, who's still alive, 90 years old, there's under 250,000 Jews remaining alive today. 250,000 in the world that had roots affected by the Holocaust. That's a very small number, with the bulk of them over the course of the next decade to technically no longer be with us. You know, something that Jewish rabbis and Jews are regularly told to say, and that has been echoed now by basically everybody who has a heart, a soul, who's human. Never again. What transpired during those years should never, ever happen again. Well, one way that you ensure that something like Nazism never happens again, the desire to exterminate an entire group of people, genocide, is you talk about it, right?
Mhm.
You don't turn around and you don't make fun of concentration camps. You don't turn around and make fun of gas chambers. All right. What that does, as JoJo and both Lev said, it desensitizes us. And worse than even desensitizing us, what it really does is it turns around and it makes it absolutely okay. It makes it okay for others to act in that same despicable manner. And you know what? To all those Jews and Gentiles that died during that period of time, I believe we owe their souls a whole lot more than what we're giving to them today.
Yeah. And I think that, expression about if you've ever wondered, what people were doing during the Holocaust, how they were reacting and responding, you're doing it now in many ways. No, there's not going to ever be another Holocaust. No, there's not going to be another Hitler. Those things are horrific and they stand alone. History may not repeat itself, but it certainly does rhyme. And if you are looking around right now, and you were wondering, how others have met moments of crisis and challenge throughout the course of history and how things were allowed to get to the point where they did. Um, Look at what you're doing and how you are responding and how you are meeting this moment, and in big ways and small, because you don't have to go to a protest. You could show up with a car full of bottles of water if you can't march. You could just go outside in your front lawn with a spoon and a pot and make some fucking noise. But you have a choice to make right now, because in a year's time, you might be looking back at this moment saying, I could have, should have, would have. Don't do that. Like, don't wonder how you could have met this extraordinarily challenging and difficult time. Just do the thing. Just make noise, stand up, speak out, talk to your friends, have conversations like these, share conversations like these with your friends. Talk to people you don't even know that well who might not be that plugged in. And I guarantee you that more people than you realize are feeling something right now where they're like, holy shit, stuff is not going well. Things are crazy expensive. My electric bill just tripled. All my friends, same thing. Just inexplicably tripled. I turned my air conditioners off, so it's not that. Everything's more expensive. Things feel stressful. Things feel scary. The government is literally shut down right now. People are losing their jobs. We all know someone who's not getting paid at the moment. That stuff is actually starting to break some of the fever. And that's where there's an opportunity to talk to the people you encounter in your life about why this is happening and about how this is the last moment we have as a collective, as a country, as a society to stand up and refuse to bend over and comply in advance. This is our moment. Like, this is it.
Yeah. I know somebody who's not getting paid. It's me, from Lev and from Malcolm, who still owe me $1 from that bet that we made here
JoJo.
on
You
me.
were wrong.
JoJo.
You think Charlie Kirk was going to go away? They just gave
Thank
him
you.
a
Charlie
Thank
Kirk
you,
is away.
JoJo.
Nobody's
Thank
talking
you.
about him. Why? Because they spent 5 minutes talking about him. They talk more.
Yes,
They talk
they
more
get
They
it
about
gave
all
him the
the.
first Medal of Freedom with a freaking Christian
So
cross on it,
what?
Michael,
So
yesterday.
So what? Nobody's talking about him. He's not. He's not
No,
big news.
no,
No one's
no. The
that whole
media,
Turning Point
no,
USA.
Michael,
Stop.
the media is not talking about him. As far as right wing, as far as Fox,
Right? We
far
don't
as
care about him.
Newsmax,
I'll take you
as
one
far as
further.
that's
We
the
talked
only
about the media. All right.
no.
Wait, I'll take you one further. I have an anecdotal story, okay? And I'm not going to say who it is. I'm just not going to say it out loud to someone a real human being in my real life. And this is an anecdotal story. And Michael, you owe us money. I'm telling you, you owe us money. I'm just a single mom in Jersey, Michael. I can't give you $1. But by the way, this is a true story. He not only didn't he go away, but someone I'm very close friends with has a son who is a senior in high school. And the Charlie Kirk story was like a pipeline for a very apolitical kid who was not paying attention to any of this, and through social media and through the algorithm and through what he was being, inundated with and on a daily basis, the deluge of all of this Charlie Kirk is a saint shit, and they killed Charlie Kirk because he said things they didn't like. He is now gone the other way. He has now become someone who talks about joining Turning Point, talks about Charlie Kirk being like a martyr. Okay. This is not a political kid. So we may not see it. You may not see it in the data points you're familiar with and I'm familiar with.
My daughter's roommate. My
Oh,
daughter's
really?
roommate in college.
You're talking about
joined
one
Turning
person,
Point
two
USA.
person. I'm saying the whole Turning Point USA is going to go away because nobody
Dude,
can
they
replace.
quadrupled,
Nobody
dude.
can.
You know-
Nobody can replace him. And it's certainly not going to be his wife because they're anti-women anyway, right? Women, according to Charlie Kirk, if you're 30 and over, you have no value if you're not married. And if you are under 30 and you're married, the whole purpose of your existence is to serve your husband and to bear children. So they're not going to have Erica as the face of it. You'll see.
There's trad guys now. There are trad guys. There's trad husbands, trad boyfriends, trad wives. You know what that is, Michael? Like the wives who stay home and they put on the aprons and it's the whole trad. This has gotten so big and so all-consuming.
And they got Benny Johnson right now. So
Yeah.
what they did is they
All right, you'll see. We'll give it
And
another
Benny
month.
Johnson is a whole
We'll
nother
give it another month, and
conversation.
then I'm
Benny
going
Johnson.
I'm going to fly to Florida to collect my
By the way,
dollar.
before we go, that's very important. By the way, Michael, me and JoJo, this is very important. Benny Johnson, like you said, he is the next grooming of Charlie Kirk. Just
Yes.
remember my words here right now.
Yep.
Trump has took him in under the wing. All of them took him under the wing. They're putting money behind him. They're giving him full access. And and now he's walking around. Is that same picture of him, his wife, the kids? And just now there was this whole thing about him getting threatened to get killed.
Pam Bondi.
Pam Bondi came in. So what I'm saying is, believe me when I tell you. And by the way, with Charlie Kirk's, whatever that Point USA, more than quadrupled.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
In the past, what's it called, from their signing up? So
That's a lie. That's the bullshit they're feeding. Anyway,
No, it's not.
yeah. What?
No, it's
what?
not.
Did you see
Have
the
you
Penn
gone?
State?
Have you
Did you
gone?
see what they did at the Penn
They
State
lie
game?
about. Okay.
The Penn
Can
State
we
game,
agree
they had
on?
freedom.
Let's agree
Wait,
on
wait.
one thing. Can we
Okay.
agree on at least one thing here?
We
That-
can, and then I have a
that
question.
side-
Follow-up.
That the Republican side, the GOP, when it comes to numbers, they lie about everything. Can we agree about that?
Yes. Oh, 100%.
Okay. On that same token, they're lying about the number of people that went ahead. They're trying to build a momentum. I've seen this firsthand, how it goes. Suffice it to say, Lev, do me a favor. Put your cup down and take us out.
Wait, before Lev, I have a follow-up question before Lev closes this out. My follow-up question, I'm just a layman. I don't even bet on sports. I have a fantasy league with Lev's son that we don't even play for money. We play for lemonade stand bullshit, whatever. But my question is this, because I'm also no JB Pritzker. Did you guys see he won $1.5 million in Vegas on blackjack last year? I'm just gonna put that out there. But how do bets work exactly, Lev? Michael, if we had a bet and Lev and I were right and you were wrong, why do you keep changing the conditions of the payout for the bet?
Oh, I'm not
why is it
changing it. I'm
moving to
waiting for
change?
I'm waiting for my dollar from the two of you.
Oh, no. Guys, put in the chat who owes who money here. Just put Cohen or JoJo
It's
and
Cohen
Lev.
who owes
because-
it. That's right.
Who owes it?
Geraldine. See, Geraldine Lloyd. Charlie who? Exactly. That's a Cohen. All right. You guys just pay
You're
pay your
cooking the
debt.
numbers. He's cooking the numbers.
Just pay your debts. All right, Lev.
Sorry, Lev, go
Take us
ahead.
out. And be nice to JoJo.
I love JoJo. You kidding me? JoJo's the greatest. Anyway, guys, listen. I mean, we're having a little fun towards the end here because we have to keep it a little bit sane, because otherwise we're going to lose it. We spend all day analyzing, dealing with this bullshit, with all of this crate, to be able to bring it to you because of each and every one of you, because of the subscriptions, because of the support, because of you coming out there following us. That's what we need, because part of the this conversation, if you got anything out of this, is the most important thing you should have got out of this is that they're trying to silence us. They're trying to scare us. And that is why we need to be louder. We need to be stronger. You need to be an extension, a megaphone of our voice. The only way you're going to be able to do it is it's very easy. Step one, you go hit that little gray button on top, and that costs no money, takes no time, and you subscribe to all three of us. Step two, for those of you that can't become paid subscribers, you go out there and you spread this message far and wide. You send it to your friends, you send it to your family, you send it to your coworkers, especially send it to those Trump-loving MAGA that you argue with all the time, and you send them this video and let them look at it. Step three, for those of you that can, go the extra mile, you go and you become paid subscribers, because we do not have corporate sponsors, we do not have billionaires, we don't have all of this money coming out to support like the Charlie Kirks did or like the Benny Johnsons have. We have you. And each and every one of you is what keeps us going. So for those of you that can, do that, because each and every one of us could do something. And for Saturday on the 18th, like JoJo said, like Michael said, and like I'm telling you, as long as you're safe, as long as it doesn't involve you getting in some kind of trouble or causing you harm, go out there and make sure you let your voices be heard. Because what Donald Trump is scared more than anything is your voices, watching the crowds, watching the television when it's filled with seas of signs, seas of people, different faces, different colors, different religions, all uniting together for one message. And that message is no kings, and we don't bow to any king. We're all anti-fascism. So on that note, please, folks, subscribe, join, and follow our movement to save our democracy.
Jojo, you want to add anything?
Just amen to all of that, Liv. Thank you. I fundamentally believe that the only way out is through, and the only way through is together. That's all I'd add to that.
Amen.
Beautiful, beautiful words. Thank you both. Great seeing you all. And thank you all for joining us today. Good community. Next time, next week on Thursday, same bat time, same bat channel. Please share this with as many people as you can. Let's grow the community. We have 1 year. 1 year till the midterms. And if we're not successful in the midterms, and don't let anybody tell you that, it's going to be an anti-Trump vote. Trump's not on the ballot. We need to ensure we take the House, God willing, maybe even the Senate. Otherwise, we do not have a tripartite system of government anymore. So thank you all for joining us. Truly appreciate each and every one of you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Take care.